Welcome to the Authentically Me Unified Roundtable, bringing together the masculine and feminine energies. Thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you to Tracy, Priscilla and the team for putting the Wellness Lifestyle Conference together to provide a platform for us to have a voice.
Thank you everybody. I am absolutely truly humbled and grateful for each one of you that's joined us. But I'm super excited to have Sasha and Pete Evans and Michael Challenger as part of the masculine energy that's joining us here at the moment. And because of that, I have got a poem that was specifically written, and it is about the sacred masculine coming in and supporting and joining the feminine. Ode to the Sacred Masculine by Ashara Lynn Gorbett. We of the Divine Feminine have been waiting. We have sat in our ancient circles, attuning our hearts, scraping our souls, and crying a torrent of want to commune with you. We have known that one day would find our essence and move towards us in the purity of your love. And now you are here. You dazzle us. We feel your protective arms, your booming voices that shout our enemies down, your defense against the evil forces that closes in. Your valiance is breathtaking, and we feel safe at last. Our love for you is beyond expression. We stand with you in this arena, finally able to exhale and freely flow within the strength of your structure. So once the battle is over, let us come home together, lie in your soft arms and tell us your triumph stories, and live with us in ecstasy, in peace. Thank you very much, and thank you for all of you. Let me go through and just quickly introduce the guest, and I'm going to run the line. I saw it at 3 o'clock this morning when I couldn't sleep. This energy line that was connecting us all, and it started off with New Zealand, the land of the first sun, where Jenny Apteldoor is in, and it goes right up to Australia, where my beautiful three sisters, Jo, Sunday, Helene, and the beautiful Pete Evans is at the moment. And then we are going hop over across to Indonesia, connect with Sasha Stone in Bali, and then the line comes down to Africa, and we have beautiful Michael Challenger, my spirit mother Nadine May, of course myself in Cape Town. And then we hop right across to Canada, and we find Jean-Paul Baptista sitting in Canada. So we have a real beautiful energy going across all the continents. So I'm really, really grateful for all of you that are here. So Pete Evans, I know that it's late for you and you want to get into bed early, but I trust you. These times goes extremely quickly. Sasha, you should know, running your conversations, before you know it, it is gone. I want to just quickly start in with you as somebody who's been dealing with the health and wellness, and I always say you've unhooked from the gravy train when I speak about you. You know, I've followed you for many, many years when you were on My Kitchen Rule, and was very, very happy to see you suddenly unhooking from that world and exposing the truth. And having that following so that people can hear it, the mundane people can hear it, who have been following you on that mainstream. But you've had your challenges with regards to books being blocked, and tell us a little bit more about how it was for you to shift from that world into the true normal.
Well, thank you for having us, and thank you to all the amazing speakers and guests on here today, and everybody that's listening as well. It is past my bedtime, and I apologise for that. Those days of being the last one on the dance floor a long time ago. I'm much better creatively in the morning these days. But yeah, it's been a wonderful journey. I have had one foot in the mainstream world and one foot in what I would call the alternative or natural space, and I love that. That's been sort of a really good place for me to be, You know, I see myself as a bridge between mainstream and alternative, or mainstream and natural. And I don't despise or mainstream at all, to be honest with you. I actually, I love the fact that it exists and how it is transforming and how it's exposing itself at the same time. And I know it will adapt and new platforms will emerge that will replace mainstream. I honestly feel that. I'm seeing that. I'm quite excited about this change that is happening and that we're all witnessing and going through as well. And it's funny because I'm about to go into another mainstream journey myself. They've invited me back, and last year I was in Costa Rica drinking ayahuasca for a week. And in that ceremony, I asked, however you would like to describe it, Mother Ayahuasca, spirit, my higher self, source consciousness, where is my direction headed with that mainstream world? Because I've lived a life in that for 20 years, and they said, well, if you're invited back, there'll still be more work for you to do, and it doesn't really matter what vehicle it is. It's just your vibration will be enough, or your frequency will be enough, and it won't really matter too much what you say or do. It's just you still have more work to do in there. So that was really interesting in that experience, to have that download or transmission or awareness or understanding. I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. And lo and behold, I can't tell you what I'm going into, but I'm quite excited about the potential of still being able to communicate in a way to a mainstream audience in a very different way than which they've probably experienced or witnessed me in the past. So yeah, I'm excited, and I'm very grateful for all of my life experiences up until this point, and you know, the culmination of it is like right now, where I get to hang out with some very very beautiful people that are wanting to share their creative expression with the world as also. So
absolutely, thank you very much, Peter. Let's hop on to Joe. You know, we had a lovely conversation with Sande and Aline, and we were talking about how are we dealing with these energies at the moment, and especially where you guys are in Victoria. What can you kind of bring forward with regards to, you know, us being aware and bringing that message through to people who are not aware?
Yeah, thank you for that. Such a great question. I really feel like I've been called from a higher level. I've been involved with galactic beings my entire life after an NDE at 2. So I feel like I'm an interdimensional communicator, interspecies, interdimensional time traveler. I drop into different timelines and have these experiences with all sorts of types of beautiful beings. And the message that I've got all year, beautiful messages, is that the light has already won, and that and I just get told and reminded by these beings to really just stay faithful, stay grounded, and that we will be rewarded when we do this, and we're going to be choosing our world. So we have not been in the fear. We've been in lockdown for 6 months, pretty much, stage 4, and we've just gone about our lives normally. We just don't buy into it. We don't. If people come to my center, I make them remove their masks, and I'm just so excited to be on the planet right now with this big shift and this change that's going through. So it's such an honor to be here. I feel so grateful. So yeah, I'm really just trying to hold a space of peace and a space of grace for people, and hold that and be that shining light, so we don't have to fall into the fear. Fear is what's going to lower our immunity. Fear is what's going to you know, really I guess affect people in this ascension process. So for me, it's about maintaining happiness and peace, and, you know, let's dance, let's sing, let's raise the vibration.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Joe. And yeah, it's all very important. I always say my motto is get your hands into the soil, you know, get them dirty and get them soil, and get away from those sanitizers. Sasha, so you and I have got, in fact, you and Michael have got connections with 2 beautiful females that I have journeyed with for many, many years. Debbie and Jane Evershed, and we've done the whole Swiss Indo. In fact, Sasha, you yourself went to go and see Papa Suki Tarragona, try and say that 10 times. And, we were talking about bringing in the value back to humanity. And I spent over a month with Papa, and was kicked out of Indonesia, never to be able to return again, because we were trying to obviously bring out the truth. But as a person that's working in this field of bringing out the truth, and we're talking specifically common law, and being in Africa, and you come from Africa as well, things are real here. The shit is real, and the people are hungry, and we are having farm murders, and there are all of these different things happening. And I still, that I'm talking to the converted are sitting here listening to us. How are we bringing this message through? And letting people know that there is more questions to ask, and to get a hold of their sovereignty and take responsibility for their life.
We're doing it by being who we be, and by doing what we do in the now, in our full authenticity. There is no them and us. That is the greatest myth. Reaching out to them, trying to convert them is primarily an act of manipulation. That's the Atlantean model that has not worked. Emanation, radiance, luminescence, invocation, enactment, embodiment, manifestation. These are the true gifts of the Adam. I loved what Pete speaking to the mainstream, now reaching out to him and inviting him into the mainstream arena is no surprise to me. Pete has maintained a high C frequency pitch on the violin of the symphony of pure truth in his part of the world, which happens to be a diabolical aspect of the world right now. Australia is trawling the underbelly of the lowest symphony of our expression as a species. Pete has maintained this amazing frequency, and that is called pure truth. And that is something which, provided there is the stamina and the authenticity to continue with that frequency without compromise, it will ultimately draw all the lower bass frequencies toward it. We know that because if you put tones into a subspace chamber and you put in a pure note, it draws all the bass frequencies toward it. That's actual mathematics playing out, and Pete is playing his part there. The symphony is rising to his frequency, and it's a beautiful thing to behold, because it's all happened within one solar cycle this year. Joe is speaking about gratitude. Is entirely appropriate. Gratitude is also that same frequency of pure truth, because gratitude speaks to the fact that we are not playing victim in our lives. We are playing the benefactor of the Alpha and the Omega. We are the ones saying, I am the perennial witness in this time-space vector. I steered my soul into this world to be right here, right now. There is no part of me that is a victim of circumstance, or of the government, or of my family, or my economic disposition. All of that stuff is the hoo-ha of an entirely incoherent fractal reality. If you are grateful for your being here now, that is how you flip the script 180 degrees. And then, of course, to immerse yourself in, as Joe is doing with her center or her clinic, in forcing right action, which is get that goddamn mask off your face if you cross this threshold. That is right action and pure truth in the now. That is how you manifest the highest outcome and the path of least resistance, actually. Now, if all people attune themselves to that, and I'm now answering your question, Nirvana, which is that it's not so much about how do we change other people by proselytizing. It is how we be in authenticity in the here and now. And those of us who have that courage to be who we be are holding the sanctified flame of the divine, of the Alpha and the Omega. And the rest of this bullshit, holographic, fractated, psychotic, galactic bullshit that's going on will all move into coherence with us. As it is, we are the ones who are determining the outcome right now of the entire world. This is why I have absolute, complete balance and equanimity in myself right now. I have absolute fearlessness for the outcome, because it's already set. Why? Because I say so. I'll leave it at that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sasha. Jenny. Let's go over to you. I can't wait for you to share. You sent me a message earlier, and you could tell us more about that and what that energy was.
Hey, thanks, Nirvana. And hey, Pete, I appreciate it. It was 11:01 New Zealand time when I clicked into this call, so I'm hanging in there.
Big day in New
loving
Zealand.
Totally. Yeah, beautiful to be in this space with you guys. So what I was feeling as soon as I came into this space was sacred humor. I know you guys at soul level, and I can feel the humor, the divine humor that runs in a current of the humanness of the fabric of who we are. And I just felt to place that in this space. And I was saying to Nirvana earlier, all this day I've been sitting at the top of Mount Olympus energetically, and feeling the cobwebby energy starting to shift and move as we untangle some of the fabric of the stories between gods and men, and the demigods and the semigods and the titans, and really feeling into that space. And yeah, what I was really feeling in this group was how many of us are bridges. And you, Pete, you talk about the bridge between the mainstream, and I'm very much the same. 25 years working in the human body work, and Joe, my greatest teachers are the horses. There's nothing quite like 500 kilos of feedback to know if you're being energetically in full integrity, and I honor my teachers in that way. And yeah, so bridging the medical, scientific paradigm, and really feeling that place within me where I've wanted to cut off one of my legs, one of the places that has me stand in a very broad spectrum, and honoring that place of being able to take that spectrum as wide and as broad and as deep as I can, so that I can really anchor my own bullshit detector, so I can really feel what that is when I'm working in the fabric of people's consciousness and their physical expression in their bodies. So yeah, the other piece I was feeling as I connected into this group, it's as we bridge the depth and the breadth of our humility and our humanity at the same time, that sense of the amplification of what it is we hold in our knowing from a place of love, and that's an incredibly potent place to be. And yeah, just sitting in this space and feeling the energy of what we're all weaving is quite unique, quite sacred. And Mount Olympus, I'm sitting here with the thread that we've already got moving through these continents, and honoring, bring it. We know, we feel our place in this world and of this world and of all the worlds. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. I really appreciate that. Right, let's hop over to Michael and get some feedback on you. And I don't know if you've heard about the earthquakes that we've had here in Cape Town last week, and very unusual. Again, what's going on with what they are doing. Are they bringing up the shit to the surface? Is there something nefarious going on? What is your take on what's going on the African continent at the moment?
Well, thank you, Nirvana, and thank you to everybody else on this panel. It's great to be here. I feel humbled to be among such amazing minds and souls, and of flesh and blood and infinite soul in this time and space that we are here manifesting our own reality. And it really is, every day that I wake up, I'm reminded immediately and instantly by things around me how we have manifested this reality for ourselves, or we have projected ourselves into this moment in time to come and do whatever work it is that we've chosen to do. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. There's no way that I could have predicted 30 or 40 years ago where I would be today and how I would get to this particular point in time. It's just impossible to try and predict that kind of journey. So for that, I'm incredibly grateful. And to come back to your question, is that for me, it is very clear that Africa as a continent and the people of Africa right now are under the greatest threat and attack probably in the entire history of humankind. It is spectacular to see what's going on. And it is possibly for that reason that some of the true solutions for a beautiful world of unity, abundance, and prosperity on all levels may end up coming out of Africa. And it seems at this stage to me that it is, in fact, coming out of Africa. The solutions for not only Africa, but for the world seem to be brewing here. And I find myself at the center of it with the Ubuntu movement, with the whole One Small Town strategy that has evolved so quickly. Well, it's been 16 years since I first started talking about it. That feels like yesterday. And what I find what you mentioned is the earthquakes around Cape Town. That is not by accident. There's definitely stuff going on. There's technologies that the great invisible creatures that are still trying to enforce their control over humanity are playing with. They're playing around with all kinds of tools, technologies, which, by the way, we have rediscovered here through my research here. I believe I've rediscovered some of this ancient technology, and I think there's no doubt about it that they're experimenting with all kinds of things. But having said that, I find myself every day at the moment not really even worrying about what's going on, because that is all insignificant compared to what it is that we're doing. And just looking at this panel here and some of the amazing souls and wisdom and knowledge and intentions that are just on the screen in front of me, the intentions of prosperity and abundance for humanity is overwhelming. And the light has already won. It always does. It's just we seem to be in a little glitch that is either a test or who knows what the hell this is. Why are we experiencing? I don't know. It's a question that comes up all the time. But I'm grateful and incredibly humbled that I seem to find myself in a position to do something about it. And I must tell you that I've been manifesting for many years now these conscious billionaires. I'm not talking about millionaires. I'm talking about billionaires, people that have not just dozens of billions, but hundreds of billions of dollars available at their disposal. And I've been manifesting it. I've always predicted that these billionaires will step up and they will become the ones that actually end up saving the world, or not saving the world, but putting the tools into place that have evolved around us and that we have manifested ourselves. And these individuals are now stepping up, and it is absolutely remarkable to see that. We now have, with the One Small Town implementation strategy, there are now 5 multi-billionaires around the world that have committed to making this reality. We're talking about and like I said, the strangest of all of them is that the largest investment is actually from South Africa.
That's amazing.
We find the largest and most committed funding and solutions that are happening right now. In fact, just before we started, I got a message from my partner in this saying, no one's going to stop it. Nothing can stop it. We're launching next week. Whether that happens next week or not, it doesn't matter. Time is not really that important. But what I'm trying to convey here is that we are in the moment that the solutions are about to explode. Many people on many levels have been working for many decades to be in this point and this time to push that button, and it's about to be pushed. And I think all of you can either know it or you sense it or you feel it, and it's about to happen. And once it happens, it will become unstoppable, because we are then using what I've been referring to as the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. And there is no more beautiful poetic justice for humanity to liberate itself from the spiritual and the physical enslavement that we find ourselves in, and manifest this beautiful world for each and every one of us.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very beautiful. I always say one starfish at a time. It's one of my favorite analogies. We'll do it, make a difference to that one starfish. Thank you, Michael. Helene, let's hop over to you. Beautiful shamanic work that you do, connecting to the earth and also working with the animals. I love the somehow that the horse energy, which is about strength and determination, and also the horse that agreed to carry us, is sharing in this space with us. So give us your share, what you would like to bring into the circle. I don't have a specific question for you. I just feel like I need to leave it open to you.
Open. Awesome. Hi, well, I'm Helene. I'm from France originally and migrated to Australia 15 years ago. And I've been actually hidden in my closet raising twin boys on my own here in Australia for the last decade. But I was born remembering that I was not meant to be on this planet and thinking, what did you do? I mean, why? They're not awakened. And I spent my most of my life trying to pretend to be normal, and I really wanted to try to fit a box, right? And I'm so excited that we don't need to fit the box anymore. And this year is the most challenging in terms of changes, but also the most exciting, because the manifestation power that we have is now instant, right? So I've been teaching manifestation, and I run a body love program to help women understand how to optimize the mind, body, and soul connection so that we can bring an idea into this physical reality. And I'm extremely excited because a month ago, well, 3 months ago during COVID-1, I migrated to the rainforest here in Victoria in Australia. I just thought, let's put my kids to a Steiner school and enough with French mainstream school. And I just bought an organic little permaculture farm. So I spend the day, you know, hands in the dirt, preparing for the food that we're gonna soon harvest. And a month ago, I was in the forest, connecting to the beautiful Pachamama, and I thought, Spirit told me, you need to be more authentic. And I was like, how? I mean, I'm French, I tell my shit all the time. I'm challenging the no worries Australians here. How can I be more authentic than that? And they said, well, stop being in a closet. So I just thought, well, let's come out. So I just decided that day, all right, I'll come out. I told the real shit, what's really going on in me. The next day I met Joe. The day after we were talking about moving to 5D, a Palladian connection, and it's been non-stop. So I then met Joe. I said, Joe, do you know what happened to me a few years ago? I had this download of a new economical model which could transform and save the planet. She said, but Helen, have you heard about the Ubuntu? I'm like, no, what is that? Well, Michael Talanger. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm interested about this man. And now I'm on a table with this beautiful man, and I cannot believe the power of just thought that comes straight, you know. And this is amazing, and this is our responsibility that we all have to really manifest what we want and be clear about the intention we set, the gratitude that we feel for all challenges, you know, through this experience of COVID. I lost my steady income. I was working for Qantas. It was not the best industry, but it's such a blessing because I get to buy an organic farm and become a farmer and really do what I love, which is sharing my passion around optimizing my body and soul. So I just would like to, acknowledge here the importance of stepping into a new level of authenticity, a new level of appreciation, gratitude, and really connection with the earth. And giving it this connection, because we are here assisting Mother Earth to birth by rebirthing ourselves, and we have all each other responsibility to individually, as Sasha said, to actually really come to terms with the family lineage that we need to get rid of and really create a new version of who we are, so we can set a new tone for this planet Earth. So this is what I wanted to share. And thank you for all of you to be here and connect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aline. And I think I connected with you. I saw your first video going out and I reached out to you, and then I connected with Joe and connected with Sunday, and you know, here we are, which is, I love that. I love the, you know, how we are connecting so fast.
Synchronicity.
Absolutely. Yeah. Peter, I hope you're still okay.
I'm hanging in. I'm loving it. Thank you.
Thank you. Nadine, my beautiful spirit mother, she is also based here in Cape Town. We've journeyed together for 20 years. So Nadine, tell us, with your visionary writing and where things are at, your, you know, beautiful walks that you do every day on Fishhook Beach, and your experience of this awakening and going into 5D and going into the, what I call the true normal.
Hello, everybody, and I'm very honored to be amongst all of you. And I tell you, to have manifested this moment, I'm in awe, because about 25 years ago, I was told to write about the ascension journey through fiction in a second language. My own language is is Dutch. And I couldn't believe this. Now, Michael, I met you in Frankfurt many years ago when we had a stand together in the same row, and I bought your book. What is so amazing, what you just were saying about the billionaires that you attracted. In my novel, my first novel, I write about this billionaire who started communities all over the world, including South Africa. I investigated in communities to write about that. I went to Finthorn, I went to Dammenheur, which is an amazing community. I hope one day, I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's amazing. And writing about that gave me such joy to go into a creative vision board, because that's what my novels are. They are vision boards of what I perceive an ideal future will be for everybody, and it will be good for everybody. And it's easy to put it in fiction because you can put every other item in there which you feel is needed to make this true. When I met my publisher 20 years ago, I went around the world to get my book published, but I ended up in a publisher in Cape Town, Kima Global Publishers. He became my partner. And I tell you, the things that I manifested in the last 20 years is awesome, is amazing. And I tell everybody, follow your passion, follow your joy, no matter what you have to maybe give up to do so. Because I tell you, you get returned what you can't even imagine. And this is what Michael also said, you can't imagine what you can attract if you truly live your purpose. And that's what I'm here in this panel, can't believe it. And Michael, that's when you said billionaires, and I mean, how did I write about that in my novel? It's marvelous how they do it. And I write about all the obstacles, and I write about everything. And that was in the 90s. And here we are 20 odd years later. So Nirvana, thank you for having me on that panel, because I think it is wonderful to meet you all. You all live your purpose, and that is actually what we have to do, and show to the world that that is worth doing.
Thank you very much, Nadine. And we've got two more quickly to go, and let's go to Jean-Paul, and then Sanday, I'll go over to you. Jean-Paul, just if you can tell us a little bit more about, in 2 to 3 minutes, what is going on in Canada. I would like to get a little bit of insight of what's happening on that side of the world.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody for having me. In Canada here, it's even more rampant. It's like it's up another level, okay, for this COVID. And that, when you go to these big crowds, you can really feel that energy, that, oh, leave me alone kind of thing. That it's but it's more prominent though. That's the thing. People are losing their minds over here, right? Because you can feel it. All you guys are intuitive. You can just feel it where that I guess that distorted energy that is being shown to you, right? And it doesn't feel good. No, it does not. But again, we are the anchor. So by doing it, what I do is I walk through it. I cannot going, oh no, you're too low level and all of this stuff. And that's what I'm promoting here, the heart, right? Even though, yes, I do see it, and that's what I really want to say for now.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jean-Paul. And I'm going to quickly hop down to Sanday. She's just at the bottom of my screen down in Australia. And then Pete will get right back to you and do a quick closing around delivery for each one of you. Sanday, yeah, I'm so sad that we can't see you, and we'll try and incorporate your photo into there. Tell us a little bit more about, you also work with horses. Again, the horses are a very prominent energy with us here, and the combination of seeing the energy of the animal and you know, being in the now and being in the acceptance and working with the healing with regards to that. How are you experiencing this at the moment?
Hi, Nirvana. Yes. Wow. I apologise that the camera's not working to everybody. The tech support's trying to figure that out as we speak. But at the moment, I'm seeing very different changes in the last sort of 20, 30 years of working with traumatized animals with wound care and emotional mental health issues. The process has always been slow, and the more that they spend time around people, the more emotional and mental health issues that they get. So more often it's helping diagnose the issues of the animal through the relationship they have with people. But recently with the energy changes that we're all experiencing and all this knowledge and awareness, and also that the more people that wake up, their energy shifts have been incredibly different. So animals are actually, not just domestic animals, but wild animals are actually searching for people for help. And when they come to you, they are being much more precise in asking for help. And being that I know how to talk to them and I can listen to their signs and be telepathic with them, I'm getting much more happiness and agreement for me to interact with them to help resolve whatever issues are coming up for them, whether it be physical, emotional, and of course all of this is energy related. So I'm really seeing that they really want to change too, and that I'm seeing more and more animals that are more evolved. They're starting to ascend themselves, so they're healing quicker, they're shifting quicker, they're connecting with people on different ways, and they're also saying no. More and more animals are saying no, you have to have my permission, and then you don't have it. So the changes have been absolutely amazing, and they're allowing me to connect in a lot stronger, so I can see directly straight through to the organ that the emotional or mental health issues are related to, and I can literally just talk to them and make a suggestion and tell them I see it. What do you want me to work on? And they are becoming very specific. They'll put a certain body part towards me. They will telepathically show me. So at the moment, the energies that are shifting on the planet, and each day I'm feeling more and more energy and feeling more and more calm and peace within myself. Through that peace and that calm, that connection to the animals around me, whether it be domestic animals or wild animals, is getting so much stronger. And it's really a privilege and very beautiful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Sandy. And yeah, I can tell you, being without my two cats, they really cuddle me at night and come and demand my attention when I get too much involved in editing or doing what I'm doing in my laptop, and get me back out into my garden. And I'm very appreciative of those. One is three-legged. I was going to say four-legged creatures, but one is three-legged, and I really, really love that. Right, Pete, for each one of the people as we're going around, is to, first of all, what are you busy with at the moment? What are you doing? I know you've just launched a book a week or so ago, a new book. And tell us what you are busy with at the moment. What is your mission at the moment? And you know, we've got a few people around us, as you can see, that have joined in and I'm listening to us. What message is it that you would like to share in just, you know, as we're closing around this circle?
For sure, and thank you for having us once again, and it's really nice to be able to listen to all of your messages and get to meet you. and hopefully we get to connect again in another format as well. In saying that, I think that has been the greatest gift that I've been given this year, or manifested for myself this year as well, has been the network and the connection on a global scale, and the acceleration for that has been phenomenal. I mean, this is a perfect example of that. But this year I've probably conducted over, I don't know, maybe 150 interviews with some of the world's leading minds and hearts and spirits that I could ever imagine connecting with. And it's flowed very, very easily with no resistance. And it's so funny because I've had all of this time to be able to do this, which is beautiful. And I know it might come to an end because, or it'll change and manifest into something else. And I'm going with that flow. But to ask what we're presenting to the world, we've just launched a new platform actually in the last 24 hours called evolvenetwork.tv. So my intention was to create a conscious content space on the pillars of long-term sustainable health in regards to physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual pillars. So we launched that off with my own channel, and in that has all our podcasts, the documentaries we've made, the TV programs, and we've reached out to certain people so far to start sharing their content as well. I sort of see it as a cross between Gaia and London Real meets something new, an app as well. So it's new territory, and I'm excited by it. I never thought that I'd be launching something like this, but seems like the year to do it because I'm being censored so heavily through the traditional channels. My reach has diminished by at least, I'm reaching only 10% or 5% of what I was 6 months ago. And yeah, it's interesting. I'm grateful for that too, because it shows that we're on the right path, and that those systems are starting to crumble, as we're seeing with what's going to happen next week. I think with that, I think it's 2:30 with these tech monopolies. So I'm excited. I'm excited, but it's also uncharted territory. Mm-hmm. But that's what life is about: is embracing the uncertainty and surrendering, but also manifesting at the same time and getting it. It's that dance that we're all playing. We're all on the dance floor doing our best. So thank you for having me. And
yeah,
some people are waltzing, and some people are doing the cha-cha, and some people are sitting on the sidelines taking their breath, and other people are the DJs or whatever, they're making the music. So it's beautiful to see everybody participate or not participate.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Pete. And I'm having a inner giggle when you say you had people on your conversations with that you never would have thought. And here I am thinking I have got Pete Evans, Michael Tanninger, Sasha Stone, and all of these amazing people, which I never would have thought I'd have. And I'm very, very humble. Sasha, going on to you. I think I was supposed to go to a female, but let me go on to you, as I've already called you in. We've 2 weeks away from the Trump election, and a lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis on what's going to happen. Either way, are we going to do, or what is it going to say if Trump wins or doesn't win? Like, if you can sort of, in people who are listening, who's not aware of the higher frequencies and the higher influences that is taking place to bring forth the light, to bring forth the new world that we are wanting to do. How is this next 2 weeks going to play out? Are we going to see more kind of shit bubbling up, or give us a little bit of feedback on your opinion?
Sure. Well, in the first instance, I'm always delighted to be mistaken for a lady, so there's no problem there. And that's my very egalitarian, very modern disposition, with all this transgenderification going on. Look, to answer your question about Trump the next 2 weeks and expectation, I'll just go back to kind of where Pete left off when he says big tech. Of course, he's absolutely right. Big tech is this great big kind of thing out there, this nefarious leviathan that apparently has its tentacles in the intelligence and the military complex, and informs the way we think and looks into our refrigerators and, you know, and all of that. But what also sprang to mind was big tech, small dick, because the big tech is about to implode in on itself. That raging, psychotic patriarchy, which is personified by these emasculated, febrile AI androids like the Jeff Bezoses, the Bill Gateses, the Mark Zuckerbergs of this world. These are not men, be clear. A man is not that creature. Those are febrile, vapid, venal troglodytes. They are maybe partially ensouled, but I would suggest entirely unensouled. But the irony is that big tech and big government and big everything, mainstream media, is propped up by very, very small penises, small peepees. And it's very important. There's not just, I'm not using that language just to be sensationalist. I actually mean it. I'm talking about animus. I'm talking about the fire in the belly. I'm talking about fire in the eyes. I'm talking about red blood, that which makes us a living man and woman of the living soil. So big tech is of no consequence. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, as Pete suggests, big tech is going to be moving into terminal catastrophic failure. Of course, to anyone who had any grasp of the optics of the last 2-3 years, we've known full well that this emasculated creature that was just strutting on the hologram of life had no real fire to it. So it's going to collapse in the same way that the Crown of England is under catastrophic failure. Now, with this endemic febrile energy in the middle of this most powerful majesty in the history of imperial hegemony. And there's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's a hollow, hungry ghost. It's an echo chamber of that which may have been 500 years ago in the papal bulls of discovery and all the pandemonium of empire. But it's nothing there any longer. So the Vatican complex with a bunch of twisted pedophilic cardinals shuffling around in little red booties, it's nothing there. The Vatican complex is all but over. The imperial hegemony of the crowns of Europe is all but over. The conflated hubris of Washington, District of Columbia, and the United States Congress and Senate is all but over. Trump is standing supreme, in my view, with a Christed energy moving through him for whatever reason, no matter how it offends your intellectual liberal sensibilities, of no consequence. It is clear, again, to anyone who has the grasp of the optics that Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and a number of these other kind of archetypes, which I regard incidentally as the feminized patriarch, which is the last stand of the patriarchy before we see the other. And the other is not going to be a matriarchy. God forbid it is. God forbid we make the crushing mistake of moving from a patriarchy to a matriarchy. With the end of this era that we're moving through, let's move into the transcendent. Let's truly not move into the artificial transgendification, not that kind of hybridized perversion of humanity, but at the spiritual level. Let's take those dynamics of Shiva and Shakti, of good and ill, of all of the dualistic principles that confluence our lives, and let's move into the transcendent, the state of perennial witness of the I am. That is where we move into phase coherence or conjugation with the highest aspect of our Pleiadian DNA and RNA, Arcturian, Andromedan, all of the higher frequency sets connected to the incredible multidimensionality of the human DNA and RNA expression. That's what we're being invited into right now. So to just round off, I'm less concerned about the temporal politics of Trump and timelines and all the rest of it, as I am in bearing that witness to the unfoldment of the unified field of consciousness that is so clearly on a pivot point of seismic awakening. And that for me is where our attention, our plasma must be placed. We must not make the mistake of being pulled back into too much temporal dialectics and thinking that it's important that this happens and Trump and Biden, it's all over. That patriarchy's over either which way. I think we need to focus on the fact that there is an influx of light moving through our plane of existence at the astrophysical level that ultraviolet light is impacting us with such an incredible incremental frequency upgrade, that it is what is causing this incredible change and shift in the consciousness of the animals that were just being spoken to. I think it was it Sandy? Forgive me, I didn't get the name, that beautiful discourse. So here we have it, the awakening of even, household pets and horses and wildlife into their own coherence at their DNA, RNA level, into their own supernature. And of course, we know that Atman is all forms of sentience, the telluric realms, the rocks, the oceans, the elementals in the atmosphere and in the air, the water and the soil, every bit as much as in the pulsating blood of hominids. We are all connected, interconnected, and entangled into that flame of Atman. Let's just own the Alpha and the Omega, the fact that we are standing as Christed sons and daughters of the Almighty, and that there is no distinction or difference between the Alpha and the Omega, or the Almighty and us. That state of perennial witness is where we are being invited to enact, engage, manifest our Christed nature. That's my entire concern. But I do believe in any event that we're going to have a bloody good shit show with Trump taking down the deep state, and let's get the popcorn out, baby.
Absolutely. Before you mute, Sasha, I also just want to quickly ask you to just invite people to what you are currently busy with, how you would like support, and if you
that's
could,
easy.
Yeah.
I'm cooking up the popcorn. I'm not looking for anything else right now. I am authentically in that state of witness, and I am beholding that which is. I do not want to miss this show. I've steered my plasma into this world to witness this threshold event. I'm not interested. I mean, I'm doing stuff like Michael and Pete and of all these noble brothers and sisters here. There's many projects and initiatives that I'm involved in, but honestly, they can all be put on pause whilst we watch what happens in the next 21 days.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sasha. And your channel is the New Earth Project, so I will just give that a quick mention. And I see that Sanday's got her camera working, and so I'm going to quickly hop onto her so we can really fully see and experience you. And in closing, if you could also just part with, first of all, what you're busy with and how the next sort of phase of which we are moving in, and how can people come in and support you, and what is the message that you would like to give out with those that are listening and will be listening once we put this up?
Well, at the moment, I think for me, what I'm really working on is spreading the light through people and the connection, not just to the animals, but to really observe the space that they're in, that their animals are trying to tell them something, that it's part of the space that you're in. There's so many people are suddenly going to pharmaceutical benefits for their animals, for God's sake, for headaches, for migraines, to having all of these things that for animals, and really they don't need all. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, basically, just in case I get lost again, just that I'm really just encouraging people as much as I can to connect to their animals, to look at their own environment, and if their animal is saying to them something is wrong, not just looking at the animal, looking at themselves, looking at their family, look at the environment, and let their animal be their guide, that something is wrong in not just in their environment, their house, their neighborhood, their whole world. It's really obvious. The animals are pointing it out. It's go within yourself and quieten yourself and your family, and that includes your pets around you, and observe the wildlife, the birds and the other animals in your environment. They're all telling you quite simply just to be quiet, to be still, to go within, take time for each other, take time for yourself. It's really just simply that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Sandy, and lovely to see your beautiful face. Joe, I'm going to hop over to you and do a double female. And if you could share where you're at and what you would like, and how we could support you, and we can support those that are listening at the moment.
Thanks, Nirvana. Look, I'm like Sandy, and I've been around the horses for a very long time, and what I try and do is everything is a reflection. So I work with frequencies and I work with energy, and so if you've got like a 500-kilo stallion that's having a temper tantrum, I'm 5'2". I can't engage in that kind of drama, because that's just going to ignite that into a considerable confrontation, and I'm going to come off second best with that. So my way that I work with the animals is to hold this really strong heart space, and instead of being drawn into the drama of this horse that could be going through some sort of trauma, I bring that animal back into my heart space and hold that. So this is how we're all shared. We're all connected with that unified field. But for me, it's like I anchor in peace, and it's like, no, I'm not going to buy into that drama. It's the same with COVID. People want to kind of go into the fear, and it's like what Sandy says, we have to be that anchor of peace, and we have to dominate with peace. And when we do, it goes out into the unified field and it reflects back at you. I see that with the horses. They reflect it straight back at me. I'm just in a really great space. I've got a beautiful husband that supports me with everything. I've got my twin flame, and we're both living this beautiful life together, and he's as crazy as I am. So we're just so grateful, and the animals to me are everything as well. So they're a big part of everything we do. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. And I see we've got a furry animal that's joined us in this conversation. So happy to see it there. Then Jean-Paul, let's go quickly on to you on closing. If you can give us a quick, or how people can support you in what your mission is at the moment.
Once again, thank you for having me. What I do, I just wanted to say how, for me, and I wrote a lot of notes down with everything, and we have all these expressions from everywhere. We can tune in to many things. I can tune into you all, but for me, I'm connected to Mother Earth, right? Of course, I can say this, and all this stuff, but that's what saved me, from myself, from our own BS, right? And this, to me, is how we're coming back. I understand that I am the land. Okay, when I incarnated here many times, we left always a footprint right over top of it. We didn't deal with it. So now we have all this, on top of her, right? And as soon as these energies are coming in, they're coming up, right? That's what we're feeling.
Yeah.
Many of you already spoke about observing, right? And I observe myself like a nut, right? But with balance. I'm not obsessive with it. So how if anybody wants to support me, yes, reach out. I love talking to people.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to Helene for your connection and, of course, your beautiful earthwork. I love gardening, planting my own vegetables. I've got my entire pharmacy in my garden. I literally just go and pick the leaves and make myself a muti, as we call it, and there we go. So share with us your parting message, how people can support you. Yeah.
So I guess my message here is that we are all responsible to take some action individually. And if I was to summary in 3 main points, I would say start with self-acceptance, work on your shadow. Start with self-acceptance, because when you accept yourself, you then automatically accept everyone. And right now, there's so much division in the world, and we will have some people going in a battle, some people connecting with, Mother Earth and meditating, and we need both sides. And there's also all the sheeple that we need to learn to stop judging too. The second point is connect with nature, as Jean-Baptiste just said. Connect to the spirits of the land, the spirits of nature, fire, the birds, the animals, and just really receive the downloads that they are continuously sharing with us. It's incredible. And like Pete explained before, I myself spend regular time alone in nature. I did a dieta end of last year, and it's incredible the song and the information that we get when we dare listening. The third point is celebrate life, enjoy, dance, and just really celebrate life. And when we can do all those 3 points, ultimately in one word, it's called kindness towards others, towards the planet, and towards ourselves with celebration. So I myself so excited to go on this amazing journey of mine. I've wrote and designed a program 4 years ago, which I'm now going to focus on entirely. Body Love, it's called, to help women and people embodying the physical, but learning how to navigate through the mind, body, and soul system to manifest and really live life authentically. So I'm also moving to this little farm where there's a little space where I can hold retreats for people to come and really embodying the experience of body love and connecting to themselves and nature. So yeah, connect with me, and I would absolutely love to keep connecting that way. So thank you for having me, and I'm really excited to have met you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Helene. So beautiful. I'm going to go on to Nadine, then go to Michael, and then Jenny will close us off as I've invited her to do. Nadine, if you could unmute and in your beautiful visionary and artistic way, and what's your closing message?
Okay, my closing message is that I hope that as many people that are listening find what you enjoy doing, find what gives you joy, and create a vision board with that particular way how you do it. It's either through gardening, either through music, either through drawing. I'm pretty good at whatever media it is. Go for it, because that is your talent. At the moment, I'm on my 4th or 5th novel, and it's actually quite challenging. It's almost like a fantasy visionary book, because it's actually the planet where we're going, how the earth will shift, and that's quite challenging to do it in such a way that it's plausible and at the same time scientifically possible, and at the same time people could wonder, could that be true? And then somehow we're doing it in such a way that people will meet the characters and see themselves in the characters and say, that relates to me. So yes, I love my life, and that I'm around at this time, and that I can actually explore by visionary writing, storytelling. I mean, it's marvelous. It's a marvelous opportunity. Thank you, Nirvana.
Thank you
for
very much.
having me here.
Oh,
and
always.
Thank all of you.
Right, let's go on to Michael. And, you know, Michael, what is the effective and efficient way that we can really bring across the message of the Ubuntu and the one small town, and getting more people to become aware of living in community and sharing community?
Well, thank you very much, Nirvana, and to everybody else on this panel. It's been wonderful being part of it. I'd just like to really urge people that will end up watching this to lose the fear. Don't be afraid. The other important thing is that it's very, you know, we all come here with specific journeys and tasks that we have to fulfill. My task is unquestionably what it is that I'm right in the middle of. And that has evolved over my life. Everything I've done has been a rehearsal for what I'm involved in right now, and that's the Ubuntu movement's one small town strategy being implemented. And for those that don't know about it, that's really what I'd like to suggest. Go onto our website, go onto onesmalltown.org, watch the videos, read all about it. It's really very simple. It has all the solutions for every aspect of the problems that we face on Earth encoded in the model, not because I created the solutions, because the solutions are all around us. The solutions come from within the communities. The solutions come from the children and the people, the teachers, the mothers and fathers, not from authoritarian dictators or government officials. And that's what the One Small Town strategy is all about, bringing power back to the people and very quickly taking control of their own lives to the extent that it can never be undone again. And this is why it resonates with so many millions of people around the world. And it's been spectacular how in this lockdown phase, how this message has actually grown much quicker than it has over the last 16 years. And this is why I believe we're pretty much in the end days, in the end times, biblical prophecy, call it whatever you want. We are right there. There is unquestionably right now a battle for the earth, a battle on a spiritual level and a battle on a physical level. Unfortunately, or while there may be many spiritually evolved beings like many other people on this panel, people that know what's going on, people that have a higher spiritual connection, there are, and they obviously don't have the same problems as people that don't have those connections or that awareness or that consciousness. There are billions of people that live in fear, billions of people that are confused and they're really scared. And it's really that journey that's what drives me every day, is to bring those people into the light, bring those people into high levels of awakening and consciousness to realize that it's all okay, that it's all going to be okay. And that there is a solution for this insane world we find ourselves in. And that solution is really, really simple, a lot simpler than anybody could have ever imagined. And it just ends up being that those tools that have been used to enslave us for thousands of years as a species are going to end up being the tools that actually bring the liberation of humanity and provide this incredible future of infinite prosperity and abundance for everyone on every possible level. So just spread the message, learn about it, and watch the videos and know that it's coming. It is inevitable. One Small Town is coming and it'll be here very soon.
Thank you so much, Michael. And also, I really do appreciate, each one of you that came on here. Before I close off, Jenny, my beautiful sister, first of all, if you could part us with your beautiful message.
Thank you, brothers and sisters, for the beautiful weave and the animal kingdom. Is the sound okay? You got me. Thank you. And like sliding off the back with what Joe and Helene and Michael and actually all of you were sharing, where I am currently at the moment is where I never thought I'd be. It's like this big old 40-year cycle of me as a child who was probably born with the biggest no in the world. No was my first ever word. And I realized that soul no, that sacred no, is the part that dislocated me from the matrix at such a young age that I was able to see through it at such a young age that I knew that it was to hold that vision for the children, to see each child as the golden soul that they are, and to be able to support the parents in reverse parenting. Stop parenting, energetically feel what this soul has brought in for you at this turning point where the spiral is spiraling back in the opposite direction. Learn from those closest to God, learn from those that are closest to source, that feel mother, that feel that initial call as she called you back to this place. And energetically, like I'm really feeling, as we share this, I want to acknowledge all the animals, all the animal kingdoms, all places within nature, all realms, nature's harmonic realms, and really feel that all those animals that are currently here, but also those that are extinct, and the beautiful templates that are still held within the land, those beautiful templates of all those that we feared or felt were extinct, that they are not. And I think of that scene in Avatar where she calls out, "Eowa has heard," and all the animals answer, and something turns very profoundly in humanity at that point. and just really feeling that energy come through. Really honoring and expressing as well the thread that we've woven tonight is a very specific thread direct from the lineage of the Taniwha, the dragon lineage in New Zealand, through to each and every landmarking of where you sit, where you hold space. And all those on the call feeling that weave as well. En Yamat Keen Becken Rama Metkum Salwanak Kalbe Quineth Tama Kenya En Ramati Shebwandram Khatuk Eloquent Shebat Tulama Niuti Tulama Shoni Tulama NUT Weldabat Mama Sasqueneth E Tuvanath Nehile
That's beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you very, very much. And thank you everybody that's joined us here and listened to these incredible people sharing their stories. This is Authentically Me. I am Nirvana, and I say peace. Thank you very much.